This tweet right here says a lot. Parker Molloy reposted it. It says, Trump is getting a substantial in-kind donation from the media in the form of coherence bias. This Truth Social post is a really good example. Look at the sheer crazy nonsense CNN just cleans up on the Trump campaign's behalf. And so this is a very important point, because we're looking at what is happening here with the media double standard. Because there is a media double standard where they are consistently looking at Kamala Harris and placing very different expectations of coherence, of the level of ability she portrays, the level of perfection they expect from her, and the way they consistently question things about her that they do not do about the other candidates. Now, what are some examples of this before we look at this tweet? Well, one example is the BS about the military. J.D. Vance was a Marine who was a journalist who served a very small amount of time, and he gets some type of reverence for this. His running mate, Donald Trump, faked bone spurs to get out of service. Now, the media does not lay into them about that, but they will instead focus on Tim Walz, who has 24 years of National Guard experience, and they will try to nitpick everything he's ever said about his experience, trying to make it seem as though he's misrepresenting the way he served, or as though he ducked out of a deployment when he ran for Congress. They will invade all those narratives, questioning and putting a microscope over Tim Walz, but they do none for these other guys that are now having altercations at the Arlington Cemetery, breaking federal law, faking bone spurs, saying nasty shit about the military, suckers and losers, putting down John McCain, talking about the award he gave to Miriam Adelson as being worth more than the Congressional Medal of Honor. But the media gives Trump and Vance a pass, and they literally shit down Kamala and Tim Walz's neck. That is a media double standard. Another one is what we're about to see right here. So this is the reality of what Trump posted on Truth Social. And I'm going to read it. It is incoherent. It is written like a goddamn madman. Somebody who is not fit to house sit for you while you go on vacation, much less to be the leader of the free world. So here's what Trump says. Look at this paragraph. He says, I have reached an agreement with the radical left Democrats for a debate with Comrade Kamala Harris. It will be broadcast live on ABC Fake News, by far the nastiest and most unfair newscaster in the business, on Tuesday, September 10th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The rules will be the same as the last CNN debate, which seemed to work out well for everyone except perhaps crooked Joe Biden. The debate will be stand-up, and candidates cannot bring notes or cheat sheets. We have also been given assurance by ABC that this will be a fair and equitable debate, and that neither side will be given the questions in advance. No Donna Brazil. Harris would not agree to the Fox News debate on September 4th, but that date will be held open in case she changes her mind or flip-flops, as she has done on every single one of her long-held and cherished policy beliefs. A possible third debate, which would go to NBC Fake News, has not been agreed by the radical left. God bless America. Dude, what is this? With all these random capital letters and a bunch of name calling? Dude, this is written by like a petulant 15-year-old. The guy who wrote this is a fucking moron, bro, and an emotionally unregulated, childish moron. It's just whiny, crybaby. He is so scared. But like, now look at what CNN, though. Look at how they reported on this. Donald Trump has this crazy meltdown that's like a massive paragraph of a 15-year-old brain-dead, angry, petulant child having a pissy fit, temper tantrum meltdown. And look at what CNN's reporting is. You ready? Watch this. CNN says, former President Donald Trump on Tuesday announced on Truth Social that he has reached an agreement to participate in a September 10 debate with Vice President Kamala Harris, noting that the rules will be the same as the last CNN debate, which seemed to work out well for everyone. What in the actual fuck? Bro, you see that? What is going on with the news media? Donald Trump has a 5-minute meltdown, spitting, name calling, and, advancing some conspiracy theory about the questions being given advance to the other person, accusing the other side of cheating, putting down everyone associated with the debate. And then CNN says, he announced that they've reached an agreement. So CNN reads this mayhem, and then they report on it as though Trump said, hey, we've reached an agreement on the September 10th debate, and the rules are going to be the same as the last one. So this is what CNN does. Now, the problem is when Kamala Harris talked about price gouging and about putting policies about price gouging, the mainstream media then started reporting that she wanted to institute price controls. So they took something she said, Kamala Harris said, about helping price gouging, and they reported on it as though she was a communist or trying to institute government control over grocery prices. CNN, Catherine Rampell, Kamala Harris's price control proposal. They called it price control. Catherine Rampell, thank you. All right, CNN, price controls. Here we go. Harris's economic plan is a response to voters' frustrations. Appeasing them carries steep costs. So now they're like, oh, shit. If she appeases the voters' frustrations, it's going to be bad. You see how they launder this shit? Here's another CNN. Look at that. Harris's plan to stop price gouging could create more problems than it solves. So now they're taking a legitimate proposal by Kamala Harris, and they're just attacking it. The same author? Is it? Oh my God, Elizabeth Buchwald? Oh, it is. You're right. Elizabeth Buchwald. But now, you ready? Watch this, though. Because while they call it price controls and shit, look at what we found out today, boss. Kroger got busted at an FTC hearing. Kroger, the grocery store, was price fixing. One of their CEOs admitted it, that they raised the prices well above inflation. Kroger has, in fact, admitted to price fixing, to price gouging. So Kamala Harris's plan is actually needed. But again, they attack her shit instead of acknowledging that her plan is actually exactly what we need. We need a prosecutorial president who's willing to go toe-to-toe with these corporations that are fucking us over. And we know they're doing this. Absolutely. Everybody sane knows they're doing this. But again, nobody cares. This election isn't about sanity. It's about a double standard. It's about a double standard of the way they report on Kamala Harris and the way they put different expectations on her. Now, another way they're doing this is with the interview. So now this is Fox. VP Harris mocked for being too scared to do interview without walls. She simply cannot be left unattended, is what they're saying. And this is spreading all through right-wing media and some mainstream media today. But you know what's funny, guys? The first interview after the convention is always the presidential candidate and the VP. Always. Everybody's attacking her. But look at this. This guy. Should CNN have insisted on a one-on-one interview with Harris and turned down a joint interview? Too tough to walk away from. But first question to Harris ought to be why she couldn't appear solo. But this guy is lying. First TV sit down after a VP pick is with the VP. Trump literally did it a month ago. These guys are lying. The first time that they have an interview after the convention when they pick their VP is always a dual interview. Barack and Joe, Trump and Pence, Biden and Kamala, Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan. But there was one just not too long ago. We literally watched this. They had a joint interview. Do you see that? That is the media bias that we are talking about. That is the nonsense. Right after the RNC, they had a dual interview. The first interview after the convention. It's been going on for decades. This is not new. But when Kamala Harris does an interview, the first interview after the convention with her VP, doing the same thing that every candidate does, including Trump and J.D. Vance, what do? they lie about it and they turn it into this narrative. And you have people in the press like this motherfucker. Dude, this is literally why they said this is why people hate journalists, because this fucker is lying. And everybody in here is calling him out for lying because this is a standard. There it was. Jesse Waters, primetime. You see what I'm saying? You see how they do this? This is the media slant. This is part of the reason why Kamala Harris has given the fingers to the mainstream media, is because they are bullshit. They launder Trump's shit. They launder Trump's neuroses. He is allowed to be a psychotic child that is not smart, is not capable, doesn't talk well, can't give a coherent statement of any kind, has no cogent, actual policy plan, lies like there's no tomorrow every 2 seconds. But what they do is they take his chaos, mayhem, lies, and childishness, and they repackage it as though he's performing at a high level or being like a normal candidate when he's not, when he's being a demented moron. And they consistently take his moronic, infantile behavior and they launder it as though he's showing up and doing a good job. He'll do a press conference where he lies for 1 hour straight, never answers a single question, and they're like, Trump has shown up and performed. And then the minute Kamala Harris opens her mouth or does anything, they attack her. Or they attack her for being incapable because she won't sit down and answer the questions, and they ask questions differently to her, and they misrepresent her, and they make up shit, and they lie, and they put a completely different set of goalposts for her to kick the ball through. And while the ball is on the way to go right down the middle of the goalposts, they fucking move the goalposts again. And this shit is problematic. Dude, I'm getting sick of this shit, bro. This is real important to notice.